Okay, picture this. What if, before your hands even moved to turn the steering wheel, your car already knew you wanted to change lanes? Or what if it knew you were falling asleep before your eyelids even felt heavy? I know, it sounds like pure science fiction, but the reality is, technology that links our brains directly to machines, it's already here.
Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here. Today, our mission is to unpack the absolutely mind-bending innovations happening right now with brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. We're going to look at how artificial intelligence is turbocharging this tech, and crucially, we have to navigate the very real and sometimes kind of terrifying ethical implications of unlocking the human mind.
All right, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Mind reading made real. 2. AI as your co-pilot. 3. Driving with your brain. 4. The ethical minefield. And 5. Who owns your mind?
Starting us off, Section 1, Mind Reading Made Real.
Now, you might think you need to be in a hospital hooked up to giant machines for this, but actually, researchers at the Technical University of Munich are testing a consumer-grade 14-channel wireless EEG helm. The driver sits in a VIRS virtual test drive simulator built right into a standard smart car chassis, and the headset just uses simple saline sensor pads resting directly on the scalp to measure the brain's electrical activity. They're actively proving how these totally non-invasive devices can reliably read a driver's state in a real-world physical environment.
But the ambitions of brain-computer interfaces go so much further than just testing drivers. A really comprehensive report by Surakel highlights 6 core themes driving BCI progress today. We're looking at efforts to restore lost functions, like movement for someone who's paralyzed, or to replace them entirely. But notice words like enhance and improve on that list. This technology isn't just about medical recovery anymore. It is actively aiming at full-blown human enhancement. The sheer scale of what innovators are trying to achieve is just staggering.
Which brings us to Section 2, AI as your co-pilot.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that because the human brain is incredibly complex, just reading its signals is really only half the battle. You need an AI co-pilot to actually translate those signals into physical action. Researchers at UCLA Samueli engineered a wearable BCI system and tested it on a participant paralyzed from the waist down. The goal was to move 4 blocks using a robotic arm. Without AI assistance, the user was completely unable to complete the task. The brain signals alone just weren't enough. But when they paired those exact same brain signals with a camera-based AI system that visually observed the scene to help infer the user's intent, literally acting as a co-pilot, the user successfully moved all 4 blocks in about 6.5 minutes. The AI bridges that massive gap between what the brain wants to do and what the machine actually executes.
Moving right along to Section 3, Driving with your brain.
Here is the thing. The human brain is noisy, and when you put a human in a moving vehicle, that data gets unbelievably messy. The car is vibrating, right? The driver is moving their head to check the mirrors. Those EEG sensors on the scalp can slip or lose contact for a split second, creating what researchers call shock artifacts. So before a car's computer can even begin to understand your brain, an AI-driven system has to aggressively filter out all of that mechanical and muscular noise just to find the reliable data hiding underneath.
To solve this massive headache, engineers developed a really robust method called ERISA. First, they collect the raw data and strip out those obvious artifacts we just talked about. Second, they use independent component analysis to separate out all the jumbled signals. Finally, they zero in on a very specific region of interest, specifically the frontal and central cortex of the brain. By comparing the power of specific brain waves, like your beta, theta, and alpha bands, this system can reliably detect exactly when a driver is transitioning from alert to dangerously fatigued.
And here is what the car actually does with that information. In the Intertrek prototype, when the brain-computer interface detects that the driver is fatigued, the vehicle's automated systems intervene. It manipulates the ambient LED lighting inside the cabin, shifting it to daytime color temperatures, like a really bright waking blue. So the car is literally reading your sleepy brainwaves and then altering your physical environment to wake you up and prevent a crash. It's an absolutely phenomenal application of the tech.
But of course, we have to talk about Section 4, the ethical minefield.
The crucial point we can't ignore is that manipulating the brain carries profound risks. The Surakel report outlines several highly active debates in the field right now. Take the ethics of animal testing, for instance. Companies like Neuralink have demonstrated their invasive chips using chimpanzees playing video games. Now, while that is standard in medical hardware development, it has sparked intense debate among animal rights organizations regarding the irreversible nature of these surgeries. Furthermore, there's a huge debate around unexpected side effects. In one-sided trial involving deep brain stimulation, a patient developed a compulsive gambling addiction that only stopped when the device was turned off. Experts are deeply divided right now on how to weigh these physical and psychological risks.
When we bring this back to your daily commute, the legal ambiguities really pile up. Research from the C3 Eye Imaging Lab maps out exactly where these challenges lie. Think about the interface between the automated vehicle and the driver monitoring system. The big challenge there is algorithmic transparency. If your car pulls over because it thinks your brain is distracted, can that AI decision actually be audited? Then, look at the interface between the system and you, the driver. The challenge is privacy and consent. Do you actually realize the extent of the cognitive monitoring happening inside that cabin? And can you easily revoke your consent? The reality is, the regulations simply haven't caught up to the technology yet.
Which leads us to our final section, who owns your mind?
Think about it. When you put a device on or inside your head that can read and eventually write data to your brain, you are opening yourself up to unprecedented vulnerabilities. If hackers breach your phone, well, they get your photos. If they breach your BCI, they could potentially extract your deeply personal reactions or even manipulate your device. Then there's neuromarketing. Imagine a corporation reading your subconscious cravings and targeting you with ads for food before you even consciously realize you're hungry. And finally, experts warn of societal stratification. We could be looking at a world where only the wealthy can afford cognitive enhancements, creating an unbridgeable gap in human capability.
It really all boils down to this critical quote from the Sorokel analysis, the dual-use dilemma. The exact same BCI technology and AI copilot that allows a paralyzed person to regain their independence and interact with the physical world could, in the wrong hands, be used to strip away our fundamental mental privacy. The tool itself is entirely neutral. The application is what's going to define our future.
We've seen how consumer-grade headsets are already predicting fatigue in driving simulators, and how AI is translating our thoughts to move objects in the real world. This science is moving at breakneck speed, but as we stand on the edge of this incredible frontier, I really want to leave you with this final thought. When the day comes, and it is coming a lot sooner than we think, that you are handed a user agreement for a device that connects your mind directly to the cloud, are you ready to sign the terms and conditions for your own brain data? Think about that. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this sparked your curiosity to learn even more about the incredible world of brain-computer interfaces.